If Joe Biden pulls out a win, and he says he's confident of doing so, maybe even tonight, who does he owe for his win? Suburban white women, young people, many of them voting for the first time? How about disgruntled independents or Republicans tired of President Trump? How about the African American vote? Right now, I want to bring in Dorothy Jackson. She's a veteran of Capitol Hill. She's worked as chief of staff for 3 different members of Congress. She currently helps lead a political action group formed by members of black sorority and fraternities. And the list goes on in terms of her accomplishments and qualifications. Dorothy Jackson, thanks for joining us. You've been big in efforts to get out the vote also. Were you able to hear the president?
I just heard a little of what he said, but I consider everything he says part of his usual rhetoric.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
And I think that any news that he says is fake or any shenanigans that he's talking about are being perpetrated by him and those people he told to stand ready during the first debate.
Okay, Ms. Jackson, next slide. Okay, would there be a Joe Biden candidacy if not for the black vote? And I'm going back to South Carolina in the primary when I think Joe Biden's candidacy was on life support. What do you think?
I agree with you, and it looked like he was on the way out. Then we came to the South Carolina primary. Congressman Clyburn put the full pedal to the metal, and all of a sudden, after the South Carolina primary, Vice President Biden's campaign was revitalized, and it seemed to have a life and a light that never went out again after South Carolina.
Let me ask you this. Did African Americans turn out at the polls on Tuesday, or did they vote early in the numbers that you were hoping for, that Joe Biden was hoping for?
I think most of the people voted early because of the pandemic. They wanted to stay out of the crowd, and they wanted to stay away from those long, long lines. But I think they did turn out.
Okay. President Trump says he's the most significant president for African Americans since Abraham Lincoln. You dispute that?
I think that's a dream for him and a nightmare for the rest of us.
Okay. Another question on Joe Biden. What does he now owe, if anything, to the black community for the support that he's gotten?
I think he owes it to the black community to stand up to and live up to his promises. And I have it on good authority that the Congressional Black Caucus has met with the vice president and spoken to him, and they actually have a document in writing that will hold him to his promises. I don't know the form of this document, if it's a memorandum of understanding or what it is, but I do believe because of the source that it exists.
That Joe Biden has put it in writing what he plans to do for the black community.
Yes.
Okay.
That this is not going to be another election where the black vote came out and then years later they're still not getting what was promised.
Okay. Dorothy Jackson, thank you very much for your comments tonight.